Casper and Dennis here for Submission Radio, sitting with the man who makes his UFC debut this week at UFC Adelaide. Long-awaited UFC debut, a man that the fans have been wanting to see for a very long time. Proudly brought to you by Masashi. Got to mention the sponsors. Kai Kara France. Man, what has it been like for you the last few weeks? Opponent changes, left, right and centre. Ashkan Mokhtari was supposed to fight you. He had to withdraw, and it's been a mad scramble ever since to find you a new opponent.
Yeah, it's surreal to kind of be here. I've pictured it for so long, so now it's finally happened. Today I put on my fight shorts with my last name on it, put on the UFC gloves, did my shadow boxing in front of the camera. It kind of just kicked in then, and then I started to get excited. So yeah, it's been a minor speed bump getting a opponent change with my new opponent, Elias Garcia. But the thing at City Kickboxing, where I train, we don't really put too much on our opponent. We focus more on ourselves. So, you know, even though it's a new person, different body, but same result.
I was going to say, was that like a ceremonial moment almost for you when you put on those fight shorts? I imagine it's like Batman at the beginning of the Batman movies, shows him putting on the belt, the gloves, everything.
Yeah, something similar. You know, an Ultimate Fighter, you don't have your own shorts or your own customized fight kit. So when you get that, that's when you know you've made the big leagues.
Well, speaking of TUF, some people may not remember TUF 24. You were a part of that in 2016. You had a decent run there, but you didn't walk away with a UFC contract. Take us back to that time after the show finished. We imagine a little bit of a difficult time where you weren't exactly sure whether or not you'd get an opportunity to fight in the UFC.
Yeah, there was tough times. I thought, you know, getting a knockout in front of Dana White, being the only knockout on the Ultimate Fighter season 24, that I'd done enough. But yeah, I took it as you know, a lesson learned, and it was more of a blessing in disguise. Looking back at it now, I'm glad I didn't get picked up right after the Ultimate Fighter. It gave me time to mature outside of the UFC, fix things that I needed to work on, you know, fix those holes, and just gain more experience. So, you know, coming into the UFC now on a 5-fight win streak, got that momentum back, and now I'm making my debut, so it's all kind of worked out.
And you found out that you were being signed to the UFC in one of the coolest ways possible. At City Kickboxing, the team played a video of Dana White, you know, him mentioning your name. Did you have any idea that was coming before it actually happened?
So no, that was all organic. The way they set that up, they just said they were going to have a thank you video for helping out Dan and Izzy for their camps. So I thought nothing of it. You know, I just came to training like normal, and then they sat me down, and then, you know, they started playing the video, and then Dana White popped up, and then he's like, Kai, you're in the UFC. So yeah, it really didn't hit until I hugged Eugene, and he was like, you're in, bro, like all that hard work's paid off. And yeah, that's when the waterworks started. You know, it was a special moment for me to share it with my team. And yeah, I'm just thankful Eugene was able to do that for me. Yeah.
Was that sort of one of the most emotional moments in your life, finding out that your dream is sort of one step closer to coming true?
Definitely. You know, growing up as a kid in New Zealand, you want to be an All Black, but I wanted to be in the UFC, so I can finally tick that off on my bucket list. And you know, it was a great night to celebrate, but then I realized, you know, I'm going to have to get a fight soon. So yeah, it was a quick turnaround for me to, you know, knuckle down and get back into training, and then finally we got a match up. I've been in this camp for about 12 weeks now, so you know, it's a long process to get ready for a fight. So yeah, I'm more than ready now.
Talk to us a little bit about City Kickboxing, because you guys are absolutely killing it right now. You mentioned it, Huge. He's been a huge part of a lot of big superstars' careers. You got guys like Dan Hooker, you got guys like Israel Adesanya, who are sort of taking the UFC by storm, a whole bunch of other names coming through there. What is it? What's the secret special sauce at City Kickboxing that's delivering all these big names to the UFC and sort of putting New Zealand on the map when it comes to MMA?
So he's got us on this new, you know, supplement that we're taking.
It's like the Essendon Football Club.
Yeah. No, it's just the culture that he's created. You know, I was training out of Tiger Muay Thai in Phuket, Thailand. You know, it's a great facility there, great guys to train with. But the thing we were missing is, you know, that accountability. You know, just to show up when no one's looking, no one's around, but always showing up for each other. So at City Kickboxing in Auckland, that's kind of what we always do. Like, even though guys don't have fights, they're always constantly in the gym. So that means, you know, you've always got bodies to work with. And it is an individual sport, but you need a team to train with. So I feel like that's what separates us. We're always training all year round. We're not just coming in for like a 2-month fight camp and then, you know, going missing. So if you're the odd one out and then you're off partying or whatever you're doing, you feel left out because you're not training. So that's kind of the atmosphere that we have at our gym. Yeah.
I mean, how close would you say you are to some of the team members? Would it almost be a case where some of them are almost like family to you? Is it a case where you guys hang out outside of the gym and constantly spend time with each other?
Yeah, definitely. It is a family environment. Some guys that I've trained with, like Dan Hooker, I started my career with him 11, 12 years ago. You know, we were fighting around Asia and he was the one cornering me. So I've known him for years, so to kind of continue that relationship, you just become closer naturally. I haven't been at City Kickboxing for too long. Would have been just under 4 years now, but you know, these guys are like brothers to me, and yeah, I'm just happy to be a part of it.
And we see you rocking the Engage shirt. You got Team Don't Blink, you got CKB, City Kickboxing, your own name. Just on the nickname Don't Blink, how did that come about?
Yeah, so I got the nickname given to me.
The best way to get a nickname.
Yeah, well that's it. You don't give your own nickname, it's bad luck. But yeah, before the Ultimate Fighter, I had a few fights quite quickly, and a lot of them were, you know, first round knockouts. It was a 9-second knockout, 12-second knockout, 30-second knockout, all in the first round. So literally, if you blinked, you'd miss that fight. So it kind of just stuck, and then yeah, I just kind of ran with it.
Talk to us about coming into this division. Obviously, there's a lot of questions around it. What's the future going to look like? Is it sort of bittersweet fighting for the UFC, but not exactly being sure what the future of the division might be?
Yeah, we're in a tough spot where, as a flyweight in the UFC, you don't know what the future holds. But that's why I'm not looking at that right now. It's out of my control, so I'm just focusing on my fight, and then we'll go from there.
No thoughts about potentially, you know, moving up to 135 if you had to at this point?
Well, if you see my track record coming into the UFC, I'm on a 5-fight win streak at bantamweight. So, in saying that, I would be more than comfortable going up. But it's up to the UFC what they want to do with me. I'm more than happy to fight at flyweight, but either or, I'll fight.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this fight goes. Obviously, you mentioned that you don't really watch too much footage of your opponent. What do you know about your opponent going into this weekend? Have you had a chance to watch any of Garcia's fight footage or find out anything about him at this point? I mean, it's a pretty quick turnaround. Yeah,
well, I've seen his social media. I saw that he's training with TJ Dillashaw and Cub Swanson, so he's getting some good rounds in. He's taking this on short notice, and if you're taking a fight on short notice at flyweight, I'm guessing you're going to be quite small. So yeah, it's a tough ask to come down under as well. Get used to that time difference, and then to make the weight. So you know, there's a lot of pressure on him to show up and perform. So I'm not really putting pressure on myself. I'm just going to do what I do and put on a show for my friends and family all coming over from New Zealand. You know, I've got about 50 of them coming over. So
wow, 50?
Yeah, so it's going to be a special moment for me to see them in the crowd and making my walk. Yeah.
I can't imagine what the hotel situation is like. There's like 2 floors dedicated to the Kai Kara front squad.
Yeah, well, they've all got Airbnbs and they're all sorted. So I'm just thankful I got a match up, you know, for a few days here. I had a lot of pressure. People were messaging me, am I still fighting? So yeah, I'm glad it's all worked out.
Does that add pressure to you, having 50 people here coming all to watch you fight?
Yeah, because that's a lot of money. People pay tickets, flights, accommodation. So people want to see a show. They want to come support. So I'm glad it's all worked out.
New Zealand getting behind you for this one. Everyone excited to see your UFC debut. If things go to plan, I mean, it's been a pretty hectic sort of year for you. Would you be looking for a quick turnaround and get another fight quickly, possibly in Melbourne?
Oh, well, I'm open for anything, really. You know, it's up to the UFC what they want to do with me. Like I said, I train all year round, so I'm only looking at this fight right now, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, I'm open for anything. Well, there you guys go. Don't blink this weekend because Kai is having his UFC debut. Best of luck this weekend, and thanks for your time today. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Cheers.